So, hello everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome to my very thoughtful world. I am so excited today because, as you guys know, I work super hard to bring you positive, powerful women who are doing their thing in this entrepreneurship role. Listen, I do this because I want to encourage you and empower you to know that you can start your journey too. So, today, my special guest is Latangela Hyman. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. Perfect.
Perfect. Awesome. So, please tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am Latangela Hyman. I am the owner of Be the Light Christian Bookstore in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and A Piece of My Passion Christian Bookstore in Knightdale, North Carolina. I'm also an ordained minister. And I'm just grateful and honored to be with you today, Kanisha. And hello, very thoughtful family. Nice to get an opportunity to greet you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. Tell everyone, how did you get into this whole space of having a bookstore? Because I don't think, that's not, it may seem common, but it's not you're like the first person I personally know who owns a bookstore.
Listen, it's uncommon for me. So I hate to have this very spiritual moment, but I got to, okay?
That's all right.
So to be honest with you, my background is in the antiquated yellow pages sales. I used to work for AT&T in business to business sales. And long story short, I joined this church and they asked for some people to um, help in a prayer initiative for a new building. I joined the prayer ministry. I started seeking God for just for the purpose of my life. And long story short, I asked, Lord, I want a career that glorifies you. And I was sitting in this very room that I'm in today in 2007. And I was praying, and I believe that the Lord directed me to start a Christian bookstore. And when I heard it, I thought, but I don't even read like that. um, but from there, you know how it is when you know you're called to do something, even though it's out of who you know yourself to be as today. We're ever evolving and changing, and
Yes.
so I believed wholeheartedly that this was God's guidance, and so I started pursuing it. I don't want to get too far in the story because it's a long story, but it's an amazing story of how God directs our paths, and and if you ask Him, He will show you what your purpose is in life. I believe that it was God, so I started pursuing it. And as I started pursuing it, there was a business here in Raleigh. Some of you may be familiar with it. It was at the time it was called Sign of the Fish, and I went, and they were interested in retiring at the time. So it took me like a year to walk this path, right? Because I was like, I can't hardly believe you you want me to do this. Um, so I finally did. I got up the courage to go visit the store, volunteer, learn a little bit about the business, and ask them to sell it to me.
Oh, wow.
Initially, they were willing to, but they were so in love with the business. By the end, it ended up that they didn't want to sell it.
Mm.
I went through the process of getting a business loan and all the above, just totally disappointed. But they didn't want to sell it, so I started this business from my very house. Um, something significant happened, and that's why women need to support women.
Yes.
I'm going to kind of put a pause in that part of the story and tell you what happened,
Okay.
that grew this business. One of the things that happened while I was in the process, in the acquisition process, there was another bookstore that was woman on owned in Zebulon, and she was closing. And I went to visit her, and I asked about her fixtures, and I told her that I was, in the end process of the loan. And she said, sure, I'll help you all I can. I'll hold these fixtures for you. But when they decided not to sell it to me, I called her and said, I don't have anywhere to put the fixtures. I didn't get the store. And she said, oh no, I can sell them, but I've already told my existing customers about you. So she gave me my first set of church accounts. And I was like,
Wow.
what am I going to do with these church accounts? I don't have a store. I'm not a Christian bookstore. And so we were talking, and she was like, I don't know, maybe somehow you can, do the business from home or online or whatever the case may be. And I did just that. I began this business by selling Sunday school curriculum quarterly, having it delivered to my house, sorting it on my dining room table, packing up my car, and driving it around to the churches, getting simple QuickBooks account and invoicing the customers. And that's how the business was birthed. It was
Look at
birthed through prayer. It was birthed through a sister that was willing to help me even when I felt like my plan A had failed. And so you got to do what you got to do. And it started right at my home. And it stayed in my home. I did what I knew to do, which was
Mhm.
business to business sales, going out, seeing churches, introducing my business, and setting up accounts, bringing it all in house and distributing it.
Wow. I love this story. You know why I love this story so much? It's because, one, we oftentimes make it so difficult. Many times we question or we doubt, is it God? Right. And then two, it to me, it sounds so much like the story of the woman in the Bible who her husband had died and they was going to take her sons. And Elijah says, what do you have in your house?
Mm.
And she says, all I have is a little bit of oil. All right. And to me, I have always thought of that story when God revealed that story to me. He taught me that story that is what business is. Because he tells her to take your gifts, what you have, your gift that you already have, and you already had what was in your house,
Yes,
right?
literally.
Put it in a container and go out and sell it. And he says you'll be able to pay off your debt and live on the rest. That's a business.
It's a
And
business.
you have done just that. And so I'm so, first of all, any part of your story you want to share, I want you to be willing to share it. Don't worry about the time because this is the stuff I think women need to hear. Because I know for me, before I got into doing business, and even while I was in the process of doing business, I kept thinking it's not right because I don't have a filing cabinet and I don't have I don't have charts and graphs. Right. We build these stories about what a business is. And I said that to one of my business mentors. And she says, well, where do you keep your information for your clients? And I was like, in files on my computer. She says, girl, that's your filing cabinet. I was like, oh.
Absolutely. So what
But
I
we
had to learn was we have to start even when we don't feel prepared.
yes.
Just start,
Yes.
get
Yeah.
moving. And it's
Yeah.
not about perfection, it's about faithfulness.
Oh,
Longevity is about faithfulness, it's not about perfection. We develop in every area in your, even when you look at your physical body from a baby on, it's about development that transforms,
yeah.
not about I got it all together. Because I'm not standing here telling you today that I have it all together. I'm just He's holding it together, and I have a yes. That's all I
Yeah.
have is a absolute complete yes, and it's a firm yes, and I'm not leaving it.
That part. That part.
That's
That's
it.
so good. Yeah. That is business. And so I hear so many women who they tell me all the reasons they can't do it, they can't afford it. How did you decide that you could do it and you could charge for it? Because I meet so many women, they're running businesses and they're giving away their product, they're giving away their intellectual property. They're just giving it away, particularly as a Christian woman. Did you have those barriers about should I charge or those kind of things?
So product wise, I knew I had to pay for it, so I needed money. So that wasn't the issue. However, one of the benefits to working with our company is we educate. My
Mm.
heart is in education. So when people come in, they're looking for a Bible. I just want to tell them all about the translations and, what's the difference and everything. So um, while I was building this business, I took on a contract position with a publisher, a Christian education publisher, and they trained me on how to sell and use their curriculum. So that kind of developed my heart for educating the customer. But I had a problem with charging for it because I felt like I don't know how to charge for it. I just want to help them. So
Mhm.
that will be broken when you have to pay your bills. One of the main things I think business owners need to get delivered from is people pleasing.
Oh, say that.
So yeah, so people pleasing is a result of not knowing your self-worth.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
And it is one of those things that's uncontainable. It'll spew out in all parts of your life if you allow it. So in your business, it's a self-sabotaging component that if you don't charge, how will a business maintain? I don't care how much money you don't have. If you go on Walmart and pick up a product, they're going to sell it to you at what their suggested retail cost is, period. Because they know
Yes.
in order to exist and to serve, we have to make money.
Yes.
Money
Yes.
answers all. So that's, we have to know that if we're operating and executing our businesses in excellence, it's worth it.
Yes. Yes. And I'm laughing because of one, how far I've come in that journey of being able to charge and not shrink down and not operate from my unworthiness. But also I remember this lady said to me, well, and she's Christian. She says, well, I just think that, like, if we could all just pull together and we all have these talents and we can just kind of serve each other without charging. I said, can you get my mortgage company in on that deal? If you can get my mortgage company in on
We
that
might
deal,
do.
I'll be more than happy to do this for you for free. But until the mortgage company is a part of this collab, I have to charge, ma'am. And it just breaks my heart, particularly with Christian people when we are asked to lower our prices or almost trying to be feel guilty. I remember years ago I used to do graphic design, freelance graphic design work because that's
Mhm.
also my wheelhouse. Um, and this guy said, the Lord is going to bless you. I said, yes, he will, sir, with the money that I just charged you. Like, if you pay me, I will be blessed, but not by me just doing this work for you for free. So I definitely think a lot of times in women, we have a hard time charging our worth, knowing our worth, and being confident enough to simply say, this is the price. My coach
Mhm.
says, my price is my price. So talk about that process of, like, how are you bold enough to go and get a loan to start a business? Because what about those mind monsters that say things like, girl, you're gonna open this business. If it don't work, you have all this money that you borrowed and all that kind of stuff. How do you overcome that?
Oh, I have those monsters now. They still lurk around all the time and say, "Look at all that you have to manage, and it's just you, and you don't have." The truth of the matter is, number one, it's not just me. It's all the people who need what I'm offering.
Mm,
It's not just me.
yeah.
Our business and our purpose exists because there is a demand for it.
Mm,
So the principle and concepts of supply and demand are always in effect when there's a business in place. There is a
yeah.
demand for. There's a reason why you go on Capitol Boulevard and there's a McDonald's. There are three McDonald's there, two Burger Kings, a Panera Bread, and all of that. There's a demand for food, and there are
Yes.
choices and options. The thing is, I need to be your best option because I need to
Ooh,
provide a service. So overcoming that is understanding that number one, I'm here for a purpose, and just like God wants you blessed. You are blessed to come in and we serve you with good products at a fair price. That's a blessing.
Yes.
I'm not stealing from them. I'm gonna probably give them more than they're when they come in there. Like when
Mm,
people come into the store, I have prime quick example. Yesterday, a lady came into the store. She came to pick up some books she had ordered, and I was fumbling with the computer that was giving me a headache. And I asked, "How was your weekend?" And she began to tell me about her husband being ill from a doctor's appointment and how it turned out to be just a traumatic experience and a near death experience. She came to pick up $27 in books. I listened to her and she said I didn't have anybody to really just tell that. And then I said, "Let me pray for you."
mm.
So then I prayed for her and she said to me, "I have to go back and take him to the doctor, but I wish I could just stay with you." So she got more than $27 worth
Yes, she
of
did.
product. But I got
Yes.
blessed too. It makes me know all the reason why I put up with all the things that could make me give up,
Oh, yeah.
because I needed to be in place. You need to be in place for business women to hear somebody else's story, that they're not alone,
Mm,
that there's nothing new under the sun. We've all dealt with financial issues, leasing issues, feeling unworthy, fighting over price. We're not alone in this, and it's not new, but we all will overcome. And we have to stand our ground and know why we did this. Every time I want to quit, I'm reminded of my first commission to do it. I
mm.
didn't think this thing up on my own. You didn't think this up on your own.
No, I did not.
It was
No, I
put
did
in
not.
it was put in your heart to do.
Mhm,
And so you have to serve your purpose.
mhm.
And so
Yeah.
this is our purpose. This is why we do it. And if it's one life we impact or thousands of lives we impact, one is just as important as 1,000.
I
And
agree.
all we really take with us is the impact we make.
Mm.
So
Oh, that's
that we're
good.
perfect. I need to not be worried about my mortgage when
That's
I
right.
come into the store to help and be able to intercede for somebody else and be able to
Yes.
say, "This is a good product. And this is why, because of what you said to me, I know exactly. My mind is not bombarded about whether or not the lights will be on, when my
Mm,
next meal will come, because I'm offering a good service and I need to be able to take care of myself and my needs for it.
yes.
I'm
Yeah.
not asking you to make me rich. I'm
That's
asking you to exchange
right.
for your services and goods.
I love that. I love that. You know, one of the things I hold on to when I'm having what I call kind of like it feels like a drought season, and in the drought season, it always seems longer in my mind than it actually is when I look
Right.
at when I go back and I look at my numbers and the last time I'm like, Kanisha, you're not doing that bad. It's just in my mind, right? But I heard Miles Monroe say years ago. He says you cannot bring value to this earth and God
Mhm.
not reward it. And I just that helps me to hold firm and remind myself, Kenesha, right now today, it may feel like or seem like you don't have a client or you don't have this going on, but you've brought a lot of value to the earth. And also just recognizing that a lot of times when people talk about the Great Commission, they think about, oh, I got to be out knocking on doors, um, calling people to Jesus. I believe when you operate in the purpose, in your purpose, you talked about earlier, having that purpose and God telling you to open this door. Look how you got to minister in the work that you've been called to. You didn't have to knock on anyone's door to
Mm-mm.
minister to them. And that's why another reason I so almost like want to beg women, get
Mm.
in your flow of your purpose, because when we move in our purpose, we really do draw men unto God. Like we people will see. And you can't help it. It's just because I think you're doing what you were divinely designed to do. Talk to that. Like, do you feel like, and you talked about it a little bit, how for you, you started a bookstore, but it has become so much more. Share some other stories where maybe you felt like giving up, or there have been times when you thought to yourself, am I crazy for doing this? And then God confirmed for you, no, you're right where I want you to be.
Um, I often the business that I'm in, the nature of the business, we have big competitors. Amazon, Christian Book are some of our biggest competitors, not necessarily, locally, maybe like a Barnes and Noble, whatever. So the business is not always, steady and stable. So sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm getting a little wearied in it, to be honest with you. And we I think every business owner goes through drought. Life goes through drought seasons and times that you question your decisions and whether or not you're doing what you should be doing, or whether or not your season is up for it, or all these things bombard our mind. But just like you got the first instruction, if the plan has changed, I don't I believe that because you were willing to do the first thing, you will know when it's time to move on, or to change direction, or to add something new, or to move to another location, or what is the case. I don't want to turn this like into like something super spiritual, but I gotta go there
That's who
because
I am. So I'm okay
yeah,
with it.
okay, good. Because so this is a kingdom business.
Yeah.
Kingdom businesses cannot operate without prayer.
Mm.
We're I will agree that we're busy managing the business, managing the employees, staffing, stocking the stores, doing whatever, handling the vendors, or whatever the case may be, paying the bills. However, priority is prayer for direction.
Mm.
Priority is prayer not only gives you direction, but it gives you peace
Yes.
in the midst of what's not working out the way you thought it would.
Mhm.
And so I've learned to keep calm in the dry seasons because they're just seasons. Last week it was 80 some degrees. This morning it was 30 some. They changed that quickly.
Yeah.
And so um, all I can think of is he that dwells in the secret place.
Mm.
Hunker down, maintain your faith and your position, because if God wanted you to make a change, he let you know.
That's
And just because we have warfare, whether or not if you were working somebody else's job, doesn't mean you won't have warfare.
That's right.
Because it could be the boss, it could be the coworker, it could be HR, it could be anything. But
Yeah.
that's just life.
Mm.
That's just life. So when you know what you're called to do, stay in it, ride the roller coaster, because it smooths out sooner or later. And yeah, there are highs and there are lows, but there are also straight paths. Stay on a straight path is what I feel. And yeah, I have dry seasons. Summers are hard for bookstores because people are traveling
Right.
and people are not consistent in churches as much because they're on vacation. They're doing different programs, but this is what I'm called to do, and I might have to make some changes, but I will not take my yes back.
Wow. I love that. I will not take my yes back. That's so profound. I will not take my yes back. I'm gonna have to write that down. Whenever I hear certain things that just like really stick to my heart and my mind, I write it down, then I meditate on it and I talk about it so that I don't forget it. I will not take my yes back because I'm in that season which you're talking about where I know that God wasn't telling me to. He told me earlier this year to pivot.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, what does the pivot look like? And he really started blessing my books. So
Oh,
I thought I was
great.
supposed to go all in on the books. And to be honest with you, I didn't because I love coaching so much. And so then I thought, well, maybe things aren't going well in the coaching because I do need to focus more on the books. And he's showing me that I'm bringing that full circle. But October is typically God's month for talking to me for the year. Like he starts
I hear it.
down my visions for the following year. And this month, I had, a coaching group that I was a part of. I had to take a sabbatical from it because like what you
Mm.
talked about, God was like, you're listening to too many voices about your business. And like you said, we get you have to do the marketing, you have to do the operations and those kind of things. That's just business as usual, right? There are strategies that every business has to work on some level. But he told me, he was just like, I need you to get back in tune with what I'm calling you to do and stop trying to do what everybody else is telling you should do to grow your business. And this season, I think this is like week number two, clear week number two. He has just been dropping things, but that piece you talk about, even what I call the mind monsters in the middle of the night when they're trying to attack me and keep me up at night,
Hmm.
his piece has just been like, no. I told my husband this driving here this morning, I said, I need to keep a notebook beside my bed. And he's like, that means you're going to wake me up and turn on the light and all that. No, bro, whatever it is, but that's when my downloads are coming. And I have to do that. And I'm sharing this to share so that if, there's a woman watching this and whether maybe she's already in her business or she's thinking about starting a business, that these times don't mean shut it down. It means stand true to your yes.
Mm.
Stand in that yes, even when everything around you, particularly people, will tell you. This is what gets me with people with businesses. You are sending your child to college, to university for 4 years, for 6 years to get degree, and student loans. Someone start a business in a year, if it's not prospering in 2 years, they're like, you need to shut that down because it's not working. You don't tell a college student to quit in 2 years.
No, no.
So why don't we at least give our businesses 4 years or six? Say, okay, I'm gonna go get my master's in my business. So those are the kind of things that I want women to be really encouraged by, not to give up and not to think that slow times or bad times mean no. Staying committed to the yes, the first yes you said to God and moving in that purpose. Latangela, I always like to ask this question before I end. What book do you recommend? We know the Bible, right? We all, if you're smart, you hopefully you're smart enough to spend devotion time. For me, I'm an audio learner, so I'm always listening. But
Hmm.
what book have you read or are you reading now that has really helped you either in your personal life, your personal development, or in your business?
So I must be honest with you.
Okay.
I am a Bible thumper.
Okay.
I'm in divinity school right now,
Oh,
so I am not reading anything but the 50 core truths of the scripture. So I am about 8 classes from finishing divinity school. So I
wow.
am all Bible and curriculum. Um,
Yes.
I have a book that I have peeked in that recently that someone told me it's a very old book and it's called God Owns My Business. I have
Mm.
not completed it, but someone
Okay.
told me you must. It is a must read. But because I'm running a kingdom business, I'm really there are plenty of books. If you look at my library, you would be like, girl, you got a million books in here about business, economies, and all kinds of stuff. But the truth of the matter is, I pretty much stick to the Bible right now because the Bible talks a lot about business.
It does.
Proverbs talks a lot about being even consistent, knowing how to store up, planning, about the miracles, about giving. So I'm a biblical girl.
I love it. I love it. Listen, if it's working, why mess with it?
It
Why
is
mess with it?
working.
Yeah.
So I want to suggest this though to the woman that's listening. Now I say I'm all about the Bible, but don't think that I didn't take business courses. Your community college offers, in their small business center and entrepreneurship center, they offer a lot of free courses. And for years, I took them, including, the Women's Business Center offered a couple entrepreneurship programs, that allowed me to take like a 6 week boot camp course on entrepreneurship. Take advantage of those programs, get into those groups. Number one, you'll learn a lot about business. We sometimes we know how to do our trade, or we have a passion for a certain product or service or whatever the case may be. But business is more than knowing your product or service. It is so many mechanics to business and marketing, and finances, and just, and HR and staffing and all this other stuff. So I highly suggest looking at your community college small business program and seeing what's offered, and take classes. Don't take the stuff you like. Don't
Right.
don't don't say, yeah, I like social media, so I'm on Facebook, so I'm gonna take the social media class. Take the
Right.
things that you know that you're the weakest in.
Mhm.
If you don't like working QuickBooks, take the QuickBooks class.
That's good. That's good.
So take the things. Finances is the number one reason businesses fail. Poor management of money, and poor, management of marketing. So make sure to take classes in finance and management. And as you develop your business, make sure, one of my growth areas for this year, I have employees, but I want to learn how to better manage employees and build a team that feels like it's a employee owned business.
Yes.
It's not my business. It's employee owned, that they take ownership in the business. And so look at your goals for this year, or the upcoming year, and think about what courses you could take to grow in those areas.
That's really good. Thank you for sharing that. And like you said, the community colleges are a great resource. They're excellent. And in fact, I've had that conversation with people saying, a lot of times when they're talking about what the government is or isn't doing, I'm like, listen, if you're not taking advantage of community colleges, that's on you. Because a lot of, like you said, a lot of those learnings, it's offered for free. All you have to do is sign up. I want to
Yes.
say thank you for being a guest. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. I love these kind
Thank
of
you.
conversations. You're welcome. And guys, thank you all for watching. And listen, if you are the entrepreneur, you're thinking about it, and you feel like the only thing that's keeping you stuck is fear, reach out to me. That's what all coaching is. It's just helping you shift your mindset to get out of your own way. And secondly, I want to invite you guys to go to my website and check out verythoughtfullife.com, because we have a retreat coming up, and it's for entrepreneur women. It's that getaway. We all need it. And we need to be around like minded women so we can be empowered and encouraged. But also, I believe it's those times where we can begin to get reconnected to who God created us to be so we can get back in alignment to get those downloads for our next step and our next level in our business. So thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you.